Hello, and we're back with another Succeed with Dyslexia interview. My name is Darren Clark. I'm the Managing Director for Succeed with Dyslexia, and we have another absolute fantastic guest. I am absolutely thrilled for you taking your time out of your busy schedule to join us today with our interview. Would you like to just tell us your name? That would be fantastic to start, and just tell us a little bit about yourself. That would be fantastic. And thank you again for your time.
Yeah, sure. And I want to say first, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I'm the CEO of TorTalk, a text-to-speech software for anyone, I guess.
Fantastic. And like I said, I've been watching the incredible work that you're doing. We're connected on LinkedIn, and it's really fantastic to get you here to have open up more of a conversation. So one of the things that we do within our guests, we ask kind of around how their experience with dyslexia. Now, with regards to dyslexia, did you go down the kind of diagnosis route? Were you diagnosed with dyslexia, and what kind of age was that, if you don't mind sharing?
No, it's no problem. It was in, let's say, I think I was 15, 16.
15, 16.
Yeah.
And what was your kind of experience with that prior to your, with dyslexia, kind of undiagnosed and then diagnosed? What was that kind of?
Actually, for me, it didn't make much of a difference because there was no real solution back then. I was quite heavily dyslexic, I would say, reading very slow, getting very tired, getting a lot of migraines and headaches and so on. So reading was really hard, and their solution was to give me an extra teacher to kind of practice reading and so on. It might help. I might be a bit of better reader because of that, but it didn't really change much. And I kept being told by at home that I'm smart and everything, so I kind of had that kind of with me. So I had this sense of not being as stupid as I was kind of told in school. And getting this paper that I was dyslexic was like, yeah, okay,
yeah.
Sure. So that's the reason. But it wasn't like a relief or anything. Like I hear a lot of people I've spoken to, they say like, oh, it's great to get this paper, like great relief to understand things. It's like, but I mean, later on when I become older, like this Dyslexia Advantage made by Dyslexia, and Susanna Cederqvist is a great woman here in Sweden, kind of pushing how we as dyslexics kind of function differently.
Yeah.
And I mean, that has really helped, but that's kind of in the last year. So if I would have gotten that when I was like 15, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I guess that's absolutely right. I mean, we're seeing much more of a movement, I guess, if we can use the terminology movement in the awareness of dyslexia. I've always said, there's more awareness now than there was 10 years ago, and there was even more than there was, 20 years ago. Growing up in school in the UK in kind of the late 80s, 90s, for me, undiagnosed dyslexia, there wasn't a lot of support and solutions around this, because it just, I guess it comes down to how, if you don't really know what support you need and they don't know how to give the support, it's kind of your loggerheads, really, aren't you?
What was that word?
Sorry, terminology is loggerheads. So it's kind of, with the terminology, you're at a kind of stalemate. So literally, it's kind of that you don't know what help you need, and the person doesn't know how to help you. So it's all about breaking barriers to kind of help and support. So you grew up in Sweden, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you went to school in Sweden. What's the kind of what's dyslexia like over in Sweden? Is there a lot of awareness? If we take now, is there a lot more awareness in that sense?
Yeah, there's a lot more now. I think back then it wasn't. I'm born in 72, so that was like in the 80s. I went to school and they did not know much about dyslexia, so definitely had no idea what to do with me. And now it's very different. A lot of people know about it, and some people, I mean, even know what to do about it. And especially at the university level in Sweden. Yeah. They know a lot, and they have all these kind of tools to help students and so on. So if you can get to university, that's really good. But before university, it depends where you are, really. Some schools are really good. Some schools, it's just like it was when I was in school.
So absolutely. So there is, some work being done, but like you said, like as a whole, really is a global thing, really, much more awareness and support and teaching and training to be done. Where did it kind of, when we talk about, reading with dyslexia and writing, these are kind of the formalities that people, address dyslexia with. And, I'm always a big advocate of understanding how to, to get assistive technology and, all these different things to kind of help and support with these things. How did you because within your role that you do now, your work, you're kind of helping in a, in a really big way. Could you elaborate on that, on kind of what you do, to help and support?
Yes, I'm pleased to. So yeah, I have developed a text-to-speech tool. Like there are a lot of different of these tools available. So I guess the difference with what I have done is this tool. It's really simple. You use it in a computer or a phone. You just kind of highlight the text that you want to read, and then just click a button, and it transforms it into speech. So it's just kind of taking the most basic stuff to make you able to listen to the text, and then just spend hours making it more intuitive instead of adding new things, making it more easy to use. And then, of course, also what we did, we were quite early with this. Because I was using it to study this tool, and I realized there's a lot of material that you can't read because it's either a picture of text or it's kind of a locked PDF or some like a Kindle. You can kind of copy some text, but then it will say that you're not allowed to copy any more text out of this document. So well, for most of them, it's like 10% or something. So you're kind of stuck there. So we built a window. You open a window, and the window is just a frame. And anything inside of it, it will take a picture of and transform it to text, and I kind of show where it's reading, like on the screen. So that was kind of the next thing to make it really easy to read anything. So basically that's what we're doing. We try to make it really, really easy to listen to text.
And that's so key, isn't it? The usability, I guess, of something is key, because if someone can pick it up and utilize it and use it in kind of an easy way, rather than having to read a big manual and all these different things, the more likely they're going to be able to use it. Yeah.
And also, because one big thing is that you want the teachers to be able to show it to the student. They should be confident that, this is going to work when I show them. I'm going to know how to use it also. So that's also very important. The funny thing is that I made it really, really simple, but I made everything that I really needed. It's like if you read a text where you have parentheses in it, like you have all these writers inside of parentheses. Yeah. So like you listen to that text and your head almost explodes, because you have to kind of unthink all these things you hear and keep everything in your head. So just made a function like skip whatever's in the parentheses if you like. Yeah. And so that's it. And I mean, we didn't build anything more. That's it. And so it's it's super simple. So we think like really low ages, but it turns out that the researchers, they're just like small kids. They just want everything to function really well. So in the end, we like it almost every university in Sweden now, because I mean, that's our user base, because they want it simple and they want everything. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I do. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant.
And what was the kind of the brainchild behind that? Why did you how did you get into that? Was it kind of a light bulb moment and saying this is something that I personally would have loved to have had? Or, how did that kind of work?
Oh, okay. I'm going to try to be brief. When I started studying, I was using because I had been working with blind people before. So I was doing software for them. So that's how I learned text-to-speech. And then I found all these different tools for dyslexics. So I had them all. And then I started to study, and then they were too slow, they were too complicated, didn't work for things, for me, not good enough for me, not fast enough for me. So I started doing kind of small functions because I was a programmer. So I started doing small functions that I needed. And so it kind of grew from there. I slowly built new things, and then so that's the
No. It's really fascinating to see, the reason, the why, I guess, and why we kind of create stuff and do stuff, and it's kind of helping. And with regards to this, is there a kind of, I'm sure there's thousands of different stories and people that you've kind of helped, kind of along the way. Do you have a kind of a story where you've kind of helped maybe a student that's kind of assisted? Because like we said, within kind of assistive technology, it is the word kind of assistive. And then what we want to do is have ultimately someone with the independence to then go on to kind of be able to kind of, self-serve themselves, I guess, in a supportive way. Do you have any recollection of maybe a student that's kind of excelled or helped?
Yeah, sure. And that's really what kind of, I'm really happy to do this work. Work is just fine, but these stories are really great. And there's quite a few of them, but one that stood out that's really recent. It's was a school. They're kind of buying a text-to-speech kind of for the whole school. So they took 10 students and they were trying different tools. And then one of the students who was he was struggling a lot, socially, academically, and so on. So he was doing this kind of second chance education when you're kind of grown up, and he wasn't hoping too much and he tried all these different tools before. So he was trying this TorTalk and some other. And during this test that was about, I think, 2 months, he got his first A ever.
Wow.
In school. So it is a grown-up person. So he was really pleased, and he kind of really grew. His self-esteem just improved dramatically. And he's now kind of giving lectures about TorTalk because he wants other teachers. He's like, people need to know about this. So that's really great. And I identify so much with him because when I found text-to-speech, I just kept running around talking to people. I also holding lectures because I was kind of working in that space at that time.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that because he is like a super good example of how big transformation you can have. And then you have all this, and some that just get some help, but I have a few of these stories that can just make a big difference.
And it's wonderful that you shared this. And I guess, because one of the things that, I mentioned quite a lot and we see is the confidence level that sometimes with regards to dyslexia, because we have this limitation that we feel that maybe society has put on us sometimes, or the education system. And it's maybe because we can't succeed in certain ways, or we can't learning in certain structured ways. So it's really heartwarming to see that confidence grow when they actually think, well, actually, this is assisting me, this is helping me, and I'm kind of growing to do this. But confidence plays a massive part in supporting people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
With regards to kind of helping students, do you feel that within kind of the education system within Sweden, it would prove better if we had more kind of assistive tech in schools?
Definitely. I think the whole way of thinking about it needs to change a lot, because it's still I see this when I introduce this software, like these special ed teachers who really wants to help. Their intention is really good. And for one thing, they think maybe we should not introduce these tools because what will happen with their reading? Will they not learn to read? And I think it's it's not true, because if they will use this, they will increase their reading. I mean, it's been researched that if you, I mean, also you increase your vocabulary, you learn to kind of to read more complex text and so on. And the other thing is that they want to introduce really slow text to speech to them. It's like, you should listen really slow because you read really slow. And it's like, no, you should go as fast as you can, and then you will start to enjoy text. Because I have users who they're reading like 50 words per minute. It's like half talking speed. Or I know I speak quite slow, so maybe I'm like 75. I don't know, but it's like half talking speed. You are probably around 100 or a bit more, I would say. And then they, like, in a flash, they're in like 200 words a minute when they're listening. And it's just their experience of the text is so different.
Yeah.
It's like being able to skim read, getting kind of how things fit together. It's like explaining all these things to teachers so they can see, okay, so this is the difference. They just think that it's, I don't know. It's like, it makes such a difference for these students. Just give them the tool. Just let them develop their skills.
You're absolutely right. I think we have this kind of barrier where we say within the education system, we're saying, you know, no mobile phones, no tech, no this. We almost take technology out of the classroom in some aspects, in you know, certain lessons. And then when the child then goes home, the first thing they do is associate themselves with tech. It could be computers, it could be, you know, phones or anything else like this. So it is finding that balance of not thinking that technology or assistive technology is you know, not damaging, but an intrusion in some ways. You know, it is assistive, it is supportive, and you're absolutely right. It's really a tool to kind of help the student being able to, you know, to read, to digest, to increase their vocabulary. It's so many different things, and the angle you're coming at is wonderful. And like you said, it is just trying to explain that to the educators. Yeah,
I think they would. I think school would benefit a lot from them being explained to.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the very best with your journey. Like I said, what we would love to do is come back and speak to you again around the software that you've got that maybe, you know, obviously share as well some of the incredible stories, because I know there's hundreds of them as well. But today I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us, and I really do appreciate your time and wish you the very best for the future.
Well, thank you. I so much appreciate you taking time also. It's and I appreciate all the work you're doing. It's just fantastic, all the information you're spreading out there. It's really good.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We will definitely be back to revisit yourself in Sweden, and take care and have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you very much.
Yes, and you too. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video as much as we did putting it together. Now we have some more fantastic content for you. Please feel free to click this link here and learn more about Jimmy Baldwin, the creator of a dyslexia browser Chrome extension, and what his motives were behind that. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.